The time has come for history to rewrite itself. The rights and wrongs of the Fumban Conference, of John Go Foncha, Estimuna and Augustine Gumjoa. For politicians to shake hands while stepping on necks, chanting slogans like spell, unity and progress. But the people chant, we are tired. We are tired of lines with no ink, tired of cures for votes that don't count, tired of choosing between silence and bullets. Let them come. With their promises dressed in perfumes and lies, let them come. We were taught to praise the chains that choked us, taught that independence was a gift wrapped in empty ballot boxes. Our flags are stitched from wounds. Our anthems hum with hunger. A land that dances to the drumbeat of silence, where Anglophone children spell injustice before they know the alphabet. Where ballots sometimes vanish like truths in the wind, where promises fill the air like gas before an explosion. A land that even bees wears a camouflage uniform, and democracy is a whispered rumor, scared to speak its own name. The time has come again. Africa is not dying. Africa is being suffocated by her own sons who drink from the calabash of power, then piss on their own people. We are ruled by men who speak of God, while devouring their own children. And you ask us why we rage, why our mouths spit metaphors sucked in fire. Because we have seen dreams butchered in boardrooms, seen justice kidnapped for ransom, seen hope leashed at dawn. But still we stand, still we rise, still we spit truth into microphones like it's our only weapon. This is not just another election. This is not just about ink on fingers. This is not just about blood. This is about blood on pavements. About mothers whispering names of sons who disappeared before they could say change. We do not vote for names. We vote for the future we are willing to bleed for. We vote for classrooms instead of prisons. For leaders who do not run from questions. We vote so that our children can ask, what next? Instead of what happened. We will be waiting with our eyes open, with our tongues sharpened, and our spirits unshaken. We are wounded, yes. But this time, when the drums go silent, it will not be for mourning. It will be for listening. It would be for reckoning. It would be for rising.
Yani ikifikanga hapo tunafanyanga hivyo uko kwetu. Sijui hapa. Duongi pako dogo neja Nazareth jatela mina rudhu muma Yesu rudhu kue. Ratego chiengu wange dongo Manuel girigeno. Ibiro neno Nyasachi nyisecheno. Hiyo hata kama uelewi utaelewa. Hata kama usiki utasikia. Hata kama upati utapata. Haleluya! Ni wala nono chenga jamondo ni wala nono taya. Utasema tu taya peke yake. Sibuoro maradodo Juda Manuel girigeno Yesu siepo joyalo. Nataka mnipigie tu kitu tafadhali kidogo tu kama tujaimba Yesu tio na mimi sina stress wakati Yesu tio. Amen. Iyo ndio wangu baba. Imedate komo na paki pinjo mangima. Wadia dia la tego setelo. Nungu dogni. Nungu dogni. Nungu dogni. Ni wara no chenga jamondo ni wara nono. Amina rubelala ni wara nono. Ni wonge gede dala wa ni miageno.
Good afternoon, fellow Amazonians. Good afternoon. This is Monday, August the 25th, 2025. It's a pleasure being with you again today after a while. Uh, we are here to bring you some updates on the state of the struggle, as Comrade Chris himself will be here to talk to you. I know many of you have been asking what has been happening with him. You've heard stories about him, some true, some not so true, but he will be here to clear the air himself. There are some who have been rejoicing because of his absence, but real Ambazonians who know the contributions that this interim government under Comrade Chris has brought to the struggle have been dismayed and worried and concerned. And I have personally received some calls wondering about what his situation is, or where he is, or even if he is free. But Comrade Chris is free. He's a strong person. He's gone through a lot, but he's standing strong, and you will see him soon in person, addressing you and telling you uh, where he's been and why he's been absent for quite some time. And of course, most importantly, giving you the state of the struggle. So I'm glad that you are here watching. I'm glad that you are here watching. And I would just like to call on you to do me a favor and share the link, share the link, and let's have as many of our comrades as possible watching. Let us bring back ABS. Some some have wondered if ABS has gone under for good. No, ABS has not gone under for good. There are times when you have to retreat in order to jump forward, as some would say. In order to jump far, you have to take a step back. And that is exactly what ABS did. And ABS is here, back and strong, and would even be better than before. So look forward to more programming coming from ABS TV in the days ahead. But for today, please, I would like to call on you to do us a favor and share the link, share the link, call your friends, call your relatives, call your fellow comrades, even those who are far away. Give them a call. Let them know ABS is live. ABS is live. And Comrade Chris will be here to tell you a lot of stories. So please do us a favor and share the link, share the link, share the link. I will be joined here today by Chairman Patrick and, of course, Chairman Jackson. And I do understand that Chairman Jackson is having some trouble with his camera. I hope he's able to troubleshoot that and get on so we can get going here. But in the meantime, I would like to welcome Chairman Patrick, who is already seated. Chairman Patrick, can you come in, let Ambazonians see you live here on ABS TV? As I would like to say, for those who have always counted the Ambazonian struggle out or thinking that we will fade away, I have a message for you. The Ambazonian struggle is like what they call come no go. When you think it's gone, before you know it, it's right back in full force. And that is exactly what from here on. Chairman Patrick, please come on in. Let Ambazonians see you.
Thank you so much, Comrade Mike. And again, I want to say we are back to all the Ambazonian people to give you the updates of what's going on and to tell you when we started this fight, we said one word. We said we were going to fight until the last man standing. So we are here to stay. If anybody was thinking that we're not going to come back, we are back. And we are back in full force. So thank you so much for inviting me to this show. And let's educate our people and set the ball rolling because we are at the finish line of this struggle. Thank you again and welcome to all the Ambazonians who are already on board.
Yes, indeed, Chairman Patrick. Before we go ahead to say whatever we have to say here, we must take a moment to salute our brave liberation fighters on the ground who are standing tall and giving it to La Republic as they deserve it. We have seen the images out there, though we are trying to not to be too bombastic in the way we present these things as before, because by doing so, it exposed our liberation fighters and some of them were killed. So we're being very careful how these things are put out there these days. So we just want to take a moment to salute them and to congratulate them and to let them understand that this Ambazonia is theirs. It is your land. It is your right to fight and take it back from the occupiers. You cannot relent. You cannot retreat. You have to face the enemy like every oppressed person before us. They have had to resist the invaders, the occupiers, the oppressors in order to regain their freedom. And that is exactly what we are doing. And that is what we are going to do. So again, kudos to our brave warriors on the ground. Please keep it up, especially in the days ahead when, as you know, Chairman Patrick, there's a lot of trouble in La Republic de Cameroon. They are confused. They don't know what to do, which is one of the things that Comrade Chris will be talking about. You know, they are running a mummified person for president. Imagine that. It is so laughable that you have a presidential candidate who has not been seen in public for who knows how long now, and they are still preparing to vote him in place. I don't know. I really don't know if you try to wrap your mind around what is happening in La Republic or what the people are thinking. You just cannot understand. You just cannot understand. So some of the things that Comrade Chris will be addressing will be, of course, La Republic de Cameroon's selection. They call it an election, but it's more of a selection or a coronation, if I should say. And then, of course, school resumption. I know there's some information out there. We are still working with some stakeholders to determine exactly how this is going to work out. He's going to talk about it. I don't want to get ahead of myself. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the transition that's occurring within the interim government, the transition which is going to happen exactly as was stated when this government was created. And we said, come time for a new leader will be elected, and that is exactly what this interim government is going to do. It is not like in La Republic de Cameroon or some other comrades who just come in and they hang on to power and don't want to step aside. Comrade Chris will address that too. So just giving in your own words, Chairman Patrick, what's your own take on the state of the struggle and the various issues that are happening even within La Republic de Cameroon and how that impacts our struggle? The only reason we talk about what happens in La Republic de Cameroon is because considering how we have been in this unholy union with them, what happens in La Republic de Cameroon certainly affects us in Ambazonia or how this struggle is prosecuted. And that is the only reason why we have to talk about them. We cannot talk about our struggle without mentioning them, because until we are completely separated and extricated from them, that is how we have to talk about these things. What is your own take on the state of the struggle and everything else around it?
Well, Comrade Mike, when I made a video on an audio last week or 2 weeks ago, I did say Ambazonians should not be spectators about what is happening in La Republic. We know this has been our occupiers, and what happens there is going to affect the way we prosecute our war going forward. But to say the least, our revolution is strong. Our revolution is at a very, very solid foundation. It doesn't matter whatever happens, we are going to prevail. La Republic is confused. And one question I have asked over and over, who are they voting for? What are they voting for? If and only if they have an election. How can somebody be voting for something that you've never seen? You see people living every part of the country that they are going to go meet the head of state. and they get there, they can't see him, but they say they are trying to vote. They're giving their motion of support. Are we really brain dead to understand that it's okay to change from one leadership to the other? It's okay for people to know that something different can come in and make a difference in their own territory. So it's really one of those appalling situations where you look at intellectuals who are deceiving themselves and believing in their own lie. So, but the reality is Amazonia is not going to go anywhere. We are going to prevail. We have set the foundation. It might take a long time, but we are going to get where we need to be. But the shame is going to be on the people of La Republique who are going to be voting for something. Not, I will not say somebody, something that they have not seen, they don't see. And I will promise you that so-called president will never come out to even campaign, but they're going to vote for him. So, but we are set to move forward, and I will repeat this again. Ambazonians, we should be strategizing as we have been doing in the background, because we cannot be spectators as to what happens in that part of the world. This is something that has affected us. They have alienated us, and they have done every possible wrong on the people of Southern Cameroon, and we are not going to let this continue with whoever is taking over power in that territory of the country.
Yeah, Chairman Patrick, the one thing that I've always asked myself, and especially those of our comrades who feel like maybe there's something good that can come out of that and or even after the so-called elections, and I'm asking myself, how exactly can it be? Where is the silver lining in all this? When you see a situation where a person that is running for the highest office of the land in La Republique of Cameroon cannot even come out to present himself to the electors, those who are supposed to elect him, to say, okay, here I am, body and soul, and capable to lead you, give me your vote. And yet you see even traditional chiefs carrying a picture of a cardboard picture of him as a replacement of a physical person, and parading with such a picture, and you begin to wonder, if a person is cannot physically work, if he's not mentally there, you have not even seen him physically, he has not said anything even by audio recording in the past months, and people are still parading such a person as being their candidate. And you see a country that is leaderless, a country that is run by people under the shadows, and you are hoping that something good can happen after a so-called election. I don't know. I just want people to guide me to how they get to this point of optimism that there's something good that can come out of this chaos, where there is just no order. Every day we see images of dilapidating roads, things just falling apart. It's just like things fall apart, as Chino Achebe would say. There is just nothing working in that place. And this is a time where Ambazonians need to really take a look at themselves. We may have made some mistakes in how the struggle has been persecuted in the past, because first of all, let's understand that we were never prepared for this, despite the fact that some of our comrades were just intentionally mischievous in the way they went about things. But that cannot be a reason. It cannot be a reason for us to stand by and miss this golden opportunity to take ourselves out of this quagmire. You know, Chairman Patrick, we had a South African, somebody who was very prominent within the South African struggle, who came in and gave us a talk. And one of the things he said, which stood out for me, was that we have to understand that even during the days of their fight against the apartheid regime, There were times when the apartheid regime would chase them and pursue them to a point where they were almost completely extinct. But that in those days, during such times, they will retreat, they will regroup, and rethink and reformat their own tactics and come back and continue the struggle. So a struggle like ours is not a straight line. It is not a straight line. There are moments when you go up, there are moments when you go down. But what will ultimately give you victory is your determination not to quit. It's your determination to succeed against all odds. And that is the message I want Ambazonians to understand. That just because you have some moments when your back may be against the wall, that is the moment you muster all the energy that you have to fight back. That is the moment you fight back. So I don't know, we have to communicate this message as clearly as possible to our comrades out there who, for one reason or the other, may have fell down, just like some people thought ABS would not come back again. But here we are. Like I said, we are like Camp No Go. But when you think we are down, before you know it, we'll spring right back up. Chairman Patrick.
Yes, Chairman Mike, that is one of the things that a revolution like ours is going to go through. When we started this revolution, we did not even have a single tool to go after the enemy. La Republique was coming with all kinds of weapons, military assault weapons. Their goal was to chase Ambazonia out of their territory or subdue them to submission. But never did they think we were going to keep fighting up to this moment. So we have done everything. We have learned. We have now been able to create that atmosphere where we know our strength, we know our abilities, and we know what we want. That is why Ambazonia is still fighting today, because we are a determined people set to conquer an occupier that felt like they had the monopoly to annihilate the people of Ambazonia. Never did they think they will be fighting people who were armless for 9 years. But we are there, and we're going to conquer La Republique, come thunder, come rain. What is going on is like we are looking at what their drama is all unfolding. But to them, they think, oh, we are at the point where we can transition from one president to the other. Because right now, they do not have a leader. They have no iota of understanding what is coming after them. La Republique think we're going to change from one guy to the other, because we know for the past few years, the Secretary General of the presidency has been the one making sure the country is still moving, even though they are moving to their graves. They are not moving to any positive direction, because whatever policy he's putting in place is just dragging the country to a bottom left speed. They are going down, and they are not even trying to see that what can they do differently? How can they change the way they are doing things and look at the reality? If it was in those days where we did not have social media, we did not have young people who are able to stand for their rights, they would have said, oh yeah, we'll do this, and the people are going to all submit, and we'll keep doing what we're doing. But today is not the same. This generation is a never again generation, and we're going to fight until the last man standing. The reality is they can keep borrowing as much as they have borrowed. They are going to be paying this loan, or whoever is giving them money might not even get their money back, because the moment will come when they will not have any way to pay any money back, because their territory is going to be on fire, and nobody will be able to even ask them. They will not have anybody to talk to them about any loans or about any repayment of all the money they are collecting from out there. So
of course,
they should. So we are going to fight.
Like you're saying, you're talking about, Chairman Party, as you're talking about loans. You know, creditors can only loan to borrowers who have the potential of paying back. So I think they are reaching a point of saturation where even lenders are beginning to realize that a lot of people will never be able to pay back the loans that they are taking, and they are beginning to be reluctant. But just to let our viewers know that Comrade Chris will be coming within maybe another 4 minutes. In about 4 minutes, he should be coming to talk to you. So please sit tight and get others tuned in so that when he comes, you can get the message that he has to deliver. So I was saying, let's look at a country called Cameroon and see who is in charge. You have a certain Ngongo. Nobody knows what his qualification is. Nobody knows what he ever did before being chosen to be Mr. Bia's Secretary General. I think the only qualification he got was that he was related to Chantabia. And then, of course, you have Chantabia himself, someone who is not known to have been to, we don't know if he ever went to school and at what level. We know how she got into the what they call Unity Palace. She got to be Pobia's wife. We know how that happened. Not very. It's not a situation that even Pobia himself wants to talk about because the conditions were not very good. I think she was picked up from somewhere, cleaned up, and thrown in there. That is why when you look at Chantabia, we know of first ladies. First ladies will always go out there and at least take responsibility for some charity organization, something that affects the population in a positive light. And you will see them out there making speeches. Has anyone ever heard Chantabia making a speech anywhere? Anywhere. But this is someone who is so brainless. But those are the people now in charge of La Republica of Cameroon. Those are the people making decisions on behalf of 20-something million people. And it is no surprise that the country is going down the drain because those in charge are clueless. They don't have first of all, they don't have the interest of their citizens at heart. They don't have the interest of their citizens at heart. And we cannot allow ourselves to continue to be tied to the waist with this sinking boat called Cameroon. It is a sinking boat. There is no light at the end of the tunnel for them. The future is bleak in that country. And we see a lot of chaos when their so-called transition finally takes place. And that is why you see people like Kamto who are being disqualified to even run. And then someone like Paul Biya, whom I believe is the most unqualified of everybody else who is running, because at least the others, you can see them out there, you can see them physically, you can see them walking around, talking to people. Mr. Biya is nowhere to be found. How can you say you're running for the office of president and you are hiding from the people? You are hiding, and there's a reason why Paul Biya is now hiding. Chairman Patrick, Paul Biya, they used to call him what? Lom Leong. Lom Leong has now become Lom Chèvre, or even Lom Escargot. You see him walking there. You see him walking there, you think that's a snare. Paul Biya is now Lom Escargot, or Lom Chèvre. The guy he's not even there. I'm even talking, at least a snail, you can see a snail. Pobia is just missing. The guy is simply missing. We don't know if he's dead or alive. Nobody knows. And in a country like that, they say, people going there like going to worship a deity and offering sacrifices and saying Pobia should be their candidate. It's just laughable. The rest of Africa and the world are looking at that country and laughing and wondering what kinds of people live in that place. Just 30 seconds before Comrade Chris comes on, Chairman Patrick, if you have something to say.
Well, Chairman Mike, that's one of the things that you can now see. He's like in what we call in the village in Grombeef. He's staying somewhere secluded on the ground and nobody can see him. But he thinks he's ruling the country. But unfortunately, that is what the whole notion of a country like Cameroon has become. If people have their brain, they should know, they should all agree that it's time for them to move on to a different direction. Because if you cannot even see the president, there is nothing happening positive in the country. The only thing you hear on the news is when they borrow money, but you don't see what they do with the money. But the president is somewhere and people are still there praising and giving him motion of support. If somebody cannot do something for you for 43 years, why don't you divorce with that guy? So those
Of
are things
course.
that people should be thinking. That should be in their brain, like it's time for us to move on to a different direction. Like Ferdinand
Yes.
Gongo, he used to be with the external relation. He went through Eric. I know a little bit about that clown, but he should have understood that Cameroon, you can use the little knowledge that he got from Eric to even implement some policies that will make that country look like a country that people can be living in. Look at Cameroon.
Even then, Chima Patrick, just as somebody goes to Iraq doesn't mean, first of all, was he qualified to go there? If he went there, it was because he had connections. It's just like you have in the hospitals in La Republic Cameroon now, a lot of people who went to medical school are just butchering people and killing people because, first of all, they were not qualified to go to medical school. Those who were qualified could not go because they didn't have the money to pay. And those who had the money to pay were not qualified. And that is why you see everything falling apart in that country. So just because he went there does not mean he deserved to go there. And so when he comes out, you cannot expect anything good out of him because he went there for a reason, to have those credentials to then say, okay, you see, I'm out of reach, give me this position. And that is exactly what's happening. Let's see if Comrade Chris is ready to address some Brazilians now. If so, let's stay tuned and have his address to Brazilians. I know there's been a lot of inquiries on his whereabouts, his state of health, or even mental state, or even whether he is free. Some even said, oh, he's been locked up, which was, of course, a lie. You will see him in a few seconds. So if the studio is ready.
Fellow Amazonians, I come today with a heart heavy, yet unbroken. I come today with a spirit battered, yet undefeated. I come today with a soul that carries both the pain of loss and the fire of conviction. Today I come before you to speak plainly, honestly, and with every fiber of my being about the state of our struggle. This message is not just another address. It is a cry from the depths of my heart to every son, to every daughter, every mother, and every father of Amazonia. We have walked a long bloody road together. We have buried too many of our loved ones. We have endured the humiliation of colonial domination, the ravaging of our villages, the burning of our homes, and the butchering of our future. Yet, through it all, we have stood strong. And tonight I want to assure you We are still standing strong. But before I speak further on the state of our struggle, let me begin with humility, a point of apology. For some time now, I have appeared absent, though not by my own making. My silence has been loud. My absence has been felt. I have not returned phone calls. I have not responded to messages. And for some of you who reach out with words of condolence following the passing of my mother only about a week ago, I have not even had the opportunity to read or to acknowledge your love and comfort. For this, I am sorry, even though it has not been by my design. And let me explain what I mean by my design. I returned to the United States on August 1st from a mission abroad on the business of Ambazonia. And lately, it has become a habit, yes, a deliberate habit of the enemy. Each time I travel out of the continent, out of the USA, that my communication devices, my phones, my laptops, my tools of connecting to you are seized and searched at the airport. This is no coincidence. This is no random search. This is no accident. This is one of the dirty ploys of La République du Cameroon. They think they can lean on foreign governments to try to intimidate me or the rest of us, to try to silence us, and try to suffocate our communication. But hear me clearly. Do not be afraid. Do not be shaken. America is not Cameroon. This land is a land of laws, not a banana republic where arbitrary detentions and kangaroo trials rule the day. For 9 years of this struggle, American law enforcement has questioned me at least five times, sometimes in my home, sometimes upon re-entry at the airport. They have asked their questions. They have listened to my answers. And each time they have found no reason whatsoever to arrest me, because there is no crime in fighting for the liberation of your people. And I tell you tonight, it will never happen. But you may be asking, does this intimidate me? The answer is absolutely not. If the razing of my home did not stop me, if the cold-blooded assassination of my brother did not silence me, if the death of my father did not weaken me, and if even now the passing of my mother cannot break me, then nothing, I repeat, nothing will stop me from fighting for Ambazonia's independence or freedom. Not the seizure of my devices, not the threats, not the intimidation, and not even the prospect of prison. I am bound to this struggle until freedom rings over Boya, Bamenda, Mamfe, Kumbo, Kumba, Libialem, and every inch of our land. So I'm sorry, but take courage and comfort yourself with this truth. My silence was not surrender. My absence was not abandonment. My heart has never left the struggle, and my voice has not been silenced. Fellow Ambazonians, about 3 weeks ago, the Consultative Commission, composed of leaders and stakeholders from across our struggle, met outside the United States, precisely in Southeast Asia. The central question before us was simple yet profound. How do we confront the looming sham elections of La République du Cameroon in our territory? You have heard their argument. I am here referring to the argument or the persuasion of La République du Cameroon politicians and the so-called elite. Some of them, their opposition leaders, some civil society actors, even some well-meaning individuals have approached me and said to me, Chris, perhaps, maybe these elections are the opportunity to end this war. Perhaps, they said, if you can allow the elections to be held in Ambazonia, it will open the door to peace, they said. I listened to them. I heard them, but I asked them the question, and I ask you too. Is peace truly the end goal for which Ambazonians have endured 9 years of suffering and sacrifice? Have Ambazonians been struggling these past 9 years merely to secure peace, or is it something deeper? When Ambazonians took up this fight after La République du Cameroun declared war, was peace the ultimate prize they sought? Do the past 9 years of Ambazonian struggle, ladies and gentlemen, point to peace as the true reward, or is freedom the greater cause? Is peace the crown that Ambazonians have been reaching for across these 9 hard years of resistance? Are 9 years of Ambazonian tears, Ambazonian blood and sacrifice, all for the sake of peace? This is my point. We are not desperate to end the war just so their kind of peace can be restored while our people are denied justice and denied freedom. Peace isn't our goal. It is not what we yearn for. We yearn for justice. Peace has never been our ultimate goal, nor is it the cry that has carried us through 9 years of struggle. What we yearn for, what we hunger for is justice. Peace without justice is nothing but silence forced upon us by the oppressor. Their kind of peace is a fragile calm that covers chains and humiliation. We are not a people desperate to quiet the guns, only to remain in bondage. We are a people who demand to live in dignity, with rights and freedoms restored. Our fight has never been about settling for peace at any price. Not at all. It has always been about claiming justice, because only through justice, that means rewriting the wrongs, can true and lasting peace be born. For decades, ladies and gentlemen, Ambazonians line up at the ballot box, clinging to the hope of change. But nothing changed. Nothing changed. Every election in La République du Cameroun was a theater of lies. Every vote drowned in fraud. Did Biya not always declare himself the winner, shamelessly, year after year? And now, 43 years in power, his name still dares to sit on the ballot like an insult, like a curse upon the people's destiny. Tell me, what hope, what guarantee is there that their fractured opposition, so-called, can rise against a man whose presidency is carved in corruption, upheld by the barrel of the gun, and cemented by Frank's bloody hands? Let me speak truth to you. There is no salvation in their ballots, in their elections, no liberation in their fake democracy. Our freedom will never be handed down by a dictator. It must be seized by a people who refuse to bow. And worse still, ladies and gentlemen, let us be clear. The very act of participating in their elections is already surrender. It means surrender. Participation is not a neutral act. It is submission. It is Ambazonia bending its knees to Yaoundé's false authority. It is us walking back into the cage of Cameroon without negotiation, without a settlement, and without dignity. To cast a ballot or participate in their election, a ballot under their flag, is to spit on the face of our martyrs, to erase the years of tears, of blood, of sacrifice. It is to give license for colonial governors, colonial divisional officers, mayors, gendarmes, and the police, those very foot soldiers of oppression, to trample us again, to mock us as though the last 9 years of courage and defiance meant nothing. Participation in their election is nothing short of betrayal. It is declaring to the world that Ambazonia accepts change as normal, occupation as legitimate, slavery as destiny. But we say no. We did not bury our sons and daughters. We have not watched our villages burned. We have not endured 9 years of unspeakable suffering, only to crawl back into the prison house of Cameroon. Never, not now, never again. We cannot, we must not, we shall not allow La République du Cameroon elections in Ambazonia. Think about this for a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Look closely at their deceit. Look at how they mock us with empty promises. Because elections were ahead, they rushed to Bamenda in a hurry to erect a so-called gas plant. They stood before the cameras, cutting ribbons, making speeches, and feeding lies to the people. They promised you in Bamenda that prices would fall, that from 8,000 francs, the cost of gas would drop to 6,000. They painted visions of relief, of prosperity, and of hope. But today, I ask you, where is the gas? Where is a single bottle from that plant? Nowhere to be seen, not even one. The whole thing was nothing but a performance, a stage play for the television, a bribe for your freedom. They wanted to buy your dignity with empty promises. The people of Ambazonia are not stupid and not fool and not for sale. Look at the roads in Bamenda. They are dilapidated, broken, unpassable. Roads that have been abandoned for years. Why our mothers and fathers walk through mud. Why our traders carry goods on their heads. Because no vehicle can pass. And then suddenly, in the middle of the rainy season, graders appear. Suddenly, machines show up to pour tar on sinking streets. Do you not see the deception? Do you not understand the trick? It is not about you. It is about their elections. Come October, when their ballots are cast, the machines will disappear. The tar will fade, and you will be left once again with mud in the rain and dust in the dry season. They are not building for you. They are building for elections and for votes. And consider the seaport in Victoria, ladies and gentlemen, a natural gift, a gateway for trade, a blessing to our people. Yet, instead of developing it, what did they do? They abandoned it and built a brand new port in Kribi, deep inside their territory. They did not stop there. They are building a new refinery in their land while ensuring that sonora in our land withers and dies. Our oil, our wealth, our God-given resources are being stolen beneath the waves, siphoned through underwater pipelines into their own country, enriching them while impoverishing us. They strip us bare, and then they have the audacity to ask us to go vote. They rob us in daylight, and then they turn to us with voters' cards demanding legitimacy. They burn our villages, slaughter our people, and then call us to line up like obedient slaves at their polling stations. No, that cannot happen again. It is time we remind them that enough is enough. We are not blind, we are not fools, and we are not for sale. We will not exchange our suffering, our dignity, our very lives for the crumbs of deceit. Our struggle has opened our eyes, and no ribbon cutting, no tire pouring, no empty promises should ever blind us again. We have been deceived, lied to, manipulated, and cheated for over 60 long years. But let it be known, we shall not be deceived again. Not now, nor ever. Come this October, there will be no La République du Cameroon elections in Ambazonia. They are banned. The chapter of deception is closed forever because we walked out of that union since October 2017, and we are never going back. Ambazonia is not Cameroon, and Cameroon is not Ambazonia. And let me speak with absolute clarity here, ladies and gentlemen. Those who attempt to organize or participate in these sham elections on our territory, be they local election officials, be they colonial government agents, or even the so-called international monitors or international observers, they must understand that they are positioning themselves as enemies of our freedom. They are declaring themselves partners in our operation, and they will be treated as such. Our brave restoration fighters will enforce this truth with the seriousness and discipline it demands. During that period, Ambazonia, the entire territory, will not be business as usual. The land will be locked down. Every street, every marketplace, every corner of Ambazonia will bear witness to our resolve. That is why I say to every family, please prepare yourselves now. Store your food, store your medication, store water, and secure your loved ones. Do not wait until the hour comes. Begin now to prepare. This is a solemn promise. We shall defend the dignity of our struggle and protect the sanctity of our territory, no matter the cost. For too long, they have trampled on us, mocked us, and shed our blood. This time, we draw the line. Ambazonia will never again bow to the rituals of fraud called elections in La République du Cameroon. Our destiny is freedom, and freedom shall be ours, fellow Ambazonians. As these elections in La République du Cameroon draw near, let every Ambazonian remain vigilant. The political atmosphere in that country is pregnant with discontent, poisoned by decades of disenfranchisement of the opposition and fragile to the point of collapse. The truth is that a civil war could erupt in La République du Cameroon at any moment. And when it does, it will no longer be safe for Ambazonians living there. I sound this warning to our brothers and sisters. Be ready. Be ready to return home when the storm breaks, for the chaos that is coming upon La République du Cameroon is not our fight. It has nothing to do with us. It is not our war. Our destiny lies in Ambazonia, and our safety must be preserved here on the land of our fathers. To all sons and daughters of Ambazonia, the Southern Cameroons, serving in the Cameroon's military, the Cameroon police, the BIR, and the gendarmes, I speak now to your consciences. You must ask yourself, the time has come for you to ask yourselves, why should I fight and die for a country that has never served you, that has never recognized you, that has treated you only as second-class citizens? Why should you want to spill your blood for a flag that is not yours, for a nation that has given you nothing, zero, but humiliation? When the fires of chaos burn in La République du Cameroon, you do not have to stand in their front lines. That is not your battle. This instead is your moment, your moment. This is your opportunity given by history itself to turn your weapons, to redirect your courage, and to fight not for a foreign master, but for your own motherland, the Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. This is my personal appeal to every Ambazonian soldier in the uniform of La République du Cameroon. Do not let this moment pass you by. History seldom gives such chances, and when it does, only the bold and the faithful seize them. You have carried the weight of another man's war for too long. Now is the time to take up the righteous cause of your own people. You have the training, the weapons, and the discipline. We have the cause, we have the spirit, and the people's will. And know this, the Ambazonian diaspora stands ready to back you up, to support you, to ensure that those who rise to defend their homeland will not stand alone. This could be the moment history delivers into your hands, Ambazonia. Please, take it. For Ambazonia, for freedom, and for the dignity of your own people. Now let me speak of something just as vital, the education of our children. We have always made our position clear. We value education. Every child should go to school and study. However, so-called government schools operated by La République du Cameroon in our territory have become centers of indoctrination. Their classrooms are instruments of assimilation. Their teachers, agents of indoctrination. Therefore, we will not feed our children into their system any longer. We are not against education. We are against colonial brainwashing. As you can recall from last year, Ambazonia no longer shares a school calendar with La République du Cameroon. That is why we continue to build and support our community schools, schools that teach our children the truth, that teach identity and dignity. Therefore, for the 2025-2026 academic year, we will soon issue a communique with specific dates for the resumption of schools in our territory. This will be done in collaboration with the Ambazonia Restoration Forces and our stakeholders on the ground. Let every parent hear the sound of my voice. Every parent listen to me. Should you send your child to a colonial school, so-called government school, you do so at your own risk. We cannot guarantee their safety, for those institutions are banned. But in our private or community schools, our children will learn not just to read and write, but to know who they are, to know the land that birthed them, and to know the freedom they must inherit. And finally, my comrades, ladies and gentlemen, let me make an announcement from the bottom of my heart. 3 years ago, when I took this office as leader of the interim government of Ambazonia, I promised you I would lead only for one term. One term. That term, or better put, my term, ends next month in September. This may well be one of the last addresses I make to you as the leader of the interim government. Leadership is not about clinging to power. It is not about sitting tight on the throne or holding on to authority at all costs. True leadership is not the desperate grip of control, the fear of letting go, or the obsession with titles and positions. It is not about preserving one's seat, silencing others to stay relevant, or mistaking domination for vision. Real leadership is about service, sacrifice, and guiding others forward, even if it means stepping aside when the time comes. Leadership is about serving with integrity and knowing when to step aside for others to carry the torch. I have done my part. I have given my voice. I have given my life, my family, my bloodline to this struggle. And I will continue to fight as a son of Ambazonia. But the time is near for me to pass the torch. Be assured, the Restoration Council and the Cabinet are working peacefully to elect my successor. There is no division in this. There is no chaos. There is continuity. The struggle will not die because Chris Anu steps aside. The struggle is greater than any one man. The struggle belongs to the people, to the martyrs, and to the unborn generations of Ambazonia. Next month, I will come before you with my farewell address as leader. But tonight, let me leave you with this. I am not leaving the struggle. I am only leaving the office. The fire in my bones cannot be quenched. The resolve in my heart cannot be broken. So, fellow Ambazonians, the state of our struggle remains strong. The road is long. The sacrifices are heavy. But our will is unshaken. Reject Cameroon's sham elections, expose their lies, support our restoration fighters, protect our children, and stand tall as a people who have suffered much but refuse to surrender. The enemy has taken our homes, our fathers, our mothers, our brothers, and our sisters. But they have not taken our resolve, the idea of a free Ambazonia. They have not broken our will. They have not silenced our cry. Let them hear this in Yaoundé. Let them hear it in Paris. Let them hear it in Washington, D.C. The Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia will never again be a colony of La République du Cameroon. The land is ours. The future is ours. And by God's own grace, freedom will be ours. Thank you, and may God bless Ambazonia. Long live the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Short live the struggle.
The time has come for history to rewrite itself. The rights and wrongs of the Fumban Conference, of John Go Foncha, Estimuna and Augustine Gumjoa. For politicians to shake hands while stepping on necks, chanting slogans like spell, unity in progress. But the people chant, we are tired. We are tired of lines with no ink, tired of cures for votes that don't count, tired of choosing between silence and bullets. Let them come. With their promises dressed in perfumes and lies, let them come. We were taught to praise the chains that choked us, taught that independence was a gift wrapped in empty ballot boxes. Our flags are stitched from wounds. Our anthems hum with hunger. A land that dances to the drumbeat of silence, where Anglophone children spell injustice before they know the alphabet. Where ballots sometimes vanish like truths in the wind, where promises fill the air like gas before an explosion. A land that even bees wears a camouflage uniform, and democracy is a whispered rumor, scared to speak its own name. The time has come again. Africa is not dying. Africa is being suffocated by her own sons who drink from the calabash of power, then piss on their own people. We are ruled by men who speak of God, while devouring their own children. And you ask us why we rage, why our mouths spit metaphors sucked in fire. Because we have seen dreams butchered in boardrooms, seen justice kidnapped for ransom, seen hope leashed at dawn. But still we stand, still we rise, still we spit truth into microphones like it's our only weapon. This is not just another election. This is not just about ink on fingers. This is not just about blood. This is about blood on pavements. About mothers whispering names of sons who disappeared before they could say change. We do not vote for names. We vote for the future we are willing to bleed for. We vote for classrooms instead of prisons. For leaders who do not run from questions. We vote so that our children can ask, what next? Instead of what happened. We will be waiting with our eyes open, with our tongues sharpened, and our spirits unshaken. We are wounded, yes. But this time, when the drums go silent, it will not be for mourning. It will be for listening. It would be for reckoning. It would be for rising.
Yes, fellow Brazilians, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Chairman Patrick, I hope you are there. You have listened to Comrade Chris himself, body and soul, as some thought he will not appear because of the rumors that he had been detained. Um, we are going to take a look at what Comrade Chris has said. I know you listen, but we'll try to break it down further so we can understand exactly what he said. I think, Chairman Patrick, if you are there, let me know if you're there, please. Chairman Patrick, are you there? Okay.
Yes, Comrade Mike, I'm here.
All right. And some of the main points that I noted when Comrade Chris was speaking include the following. He talked about his recent absence and gave reasons for the absence, which were well understood. I think some of us already knew that, but there are many out there who did not know why he was absent, especially including the passing of his mother about 2 weeks ago. Comrade Chris also stated that he will not be intimidated despite these trials and tribulations. His heart is in the struggle and he's standing strong. And these trials and tribulations will not deter him from the struggle for the liberation of the southern Cameroon and Ambazonia. Of course, he also stated that the so-called elections in La Republique du Cameroon do not mean anything to us Ambazonians, that we don't have anything to gain from it. Even La Republique du Cameroon citizens themselves there's nothing in the so-called election, even for them, not to talk of Ambazonians. So he also warned us to beware of La Republique du Cameroon's lies and manipulations over the years. They always come during the time of elections to make promises which they know very well are not to be kept. They know very well that these promises will not be kept, but they keep doing the same over and over and over. I mean, if there's any Ambazonian out there who will still allow himself or herself to be deceived by all these lies, then they say then you are grateful, because they say, fool me once, shame on you, but if you fool me the second time, it is shame on me, because I ought to be wise enough to know who you are the second time you try to fool me. So he also stated that La Republique du Cameroon is at a point of implosion, that anything can happen in that country right now. Anything can happen. And that Ambazonians who are hiding within the territory of La Republique du Cameroon should be prepared they should have their go-backs packed and ready for when chaos breaks out. They should be able to get out of there as soon as possible. So that is a warning to those who are hiding within the territory of La Republique du Cameroon. We should be prepared for what may happen in the days ahead. It's very uncertain. Now, he also talked about the education of our children, that we are not against the education of our children, but we are against the kind of education that seeks to indoctrinate our children, seeks to misinform them, and seeks to distort our history and disrespect our own linguistic and cultural values. That is what we are against. We want education that will help to mold the minds of our children the way they should be molded, based on facts and the reality of our history, not the kind of history that we've been taught in the past. Now, he also talked about the transition that's happening within the interim government, that when he came in, he promised that he was only going to serve one term of 3 years. And he is bent on making sure that that promise is kept. He will not extend his term, despite the fact that some have called for him to stay on. He said he made a promise to Ambazonians not to serve more than one term, unlike some of our comrades who come in and they hang on, and despite the fact that even when the time comes for them to present themselves to Ambazonians to at least evaluate their performance and to determine whether or not they should continue to serve as their leader, they simply will not even present themselves for such an examination. And it's a shame for us doing that when we are complaining that La Republican government is doing the same. So, Comrade Chris is setting an example how a leader can serve and step aside when the time is right. And you keep your promise. When you make a promise, keep it. And he is doing exactly that. So it is something to be emulated. It's something to be appreciated. That it is like a breath of fresh air, where we've had a number of sit-tight leaders who just will not step aside, despite the fact that the organizations under their control are falling apart and there are internal squabbles, mainly because of their leadership style that does not allow for others to serve as well. So it's a good example to set. He also stated that by leaving the office of the president does not mean that he's leaving the struggle. Far from it. He will continue to serve, but just not within that same office. He will allow someone else to come in and serve while he will continue to serve Ambazonians in in another capacity. As we well know that he's a good communicator, he will continue to do that. So those are some of the points that are jotted during Comrade Chris's speech. Chairman Patrick, why don't we start with the first one? Of course, the troubles that he's had recently that caused him to be absent for a while. You very well know some of these things where the enemy uses all kinds of tools and all kinds of paid agents to try to intimidate us out here, and even not to talk about people back home, into giving up on this struggle. What's your take on that?
Yes, Chairman Mike, one of the things that you can see in Comrade Chris is the fact that even with all what he's gone through in this revolution, he has stood firm to his conviction that he's going to fight to the end of this struggle. If you look at his absence for the past few months, we all know, we've seen it. If you were sitting there, your brother is no more, your mom is no more, your wife is no more, your dad is no more, and you are there fighting for people that some of them are still on the ground, who are acting like their brains are not working, still hoping that after 42 years, the CPDM that they call it will one day come and do something positive for you. What happened for 42 years that they could not do it? And they are going to come do it in 2025 or 26. Whatever people are thinking is something that is unimaginable. But I will congratulate Comrade Chris for what he's done, for his steadfast in what he has stood for this revolution. You've seen it. Every time we come up with leaders in this struggle, they think they are coming to start becoming president and they don't want to leave. Every country that is progressing is only progressing because minds are changing, personalities are changing, ideas, policies, all of this is changing, that is making the country progress. If you are stagnant with the same leader, the same policies, the same tactics that they use, you are not going anywhere. We can all see this. I'll even take a clear example. We have our neighbors, Nigeria. Nigeria, as much as they are voting incompetent leaders in their country, just the mere fact that they are changing from one person to the other is making Nigeria even think and reflect that, okay, something has to change. Even if it's one thing, that makes a big difference. But if we can sit here, people, even in our own struggle that we're trying to fight, people became leaders. They know. They even come and promise people and say, if you give me this amount of money, we'll get to Boya. And if it doesn't happen, I'm going to step down. And that did not happen. You say, "Oh no, I'm not stepping down." What message did you give your own people who were supporting you? You're already
Chairman,
telling people that.
Chairman Patrick, not to cut you there, I just want us to shine a light on the example of Nigeria that you've quoted there. There are quite a few things there that have helped Nigeria to advance despite the level of corruption that still exists in that country. And one of the things you mentioned is the plurality of leadership, where you have at least every 2 terms a new leader comes on. It helps them because there are new ideas that come in. Those are new. Each person comes with his own. Some are good, some are bad, but because of that mixture, it helps them to move forward. One other thing that has helped Nigeria to advance is the federal structure of their government, the decentralized nature of their government, where governors are elected within the state. They are not appointed like in La Republic Cameroon, because in La Republic Cameroon everything is centralized. In Nigeria, governors are elected, so they're accountable to their people. You see, so it makes it possible for these governors now to go out and satisfy the promises that they make to the electorate, and the electorate can hold them accountable. Look at the case of La Republic Cameroon. They have promised year in, year out, just do what is called decentralization. Decentralization. They have never done it. That is what is happening in Nigeria advance because of their federal structure of government, where the states are independent to manage their own resources. In La Republic Cameroon, they will not allow it because they want everything sent to Yaoundé, so they can take everything and squander it. And that is what we're asking fellow ambassadors. For how much more longer can we endure this? We cannot continue to endure this. It is time for us to let them be, because even as we speak, there are no genuine efforts to even decentralize that damn country. There's just nothing happening there to give hope to anyone that things will improve. That is why we must be determined to sever any ties with La Republic Cameroon. I just wanted to add to that point the example you gave there, which our people should really understand why Nigeria is advancing and La Republic Cameroon is not, because of these two things: plurality of leadership, the federal structure of government. Please continue.
Yeah, so that is just a clear picture of what we're even talking about. Because if you go to a country like La Republic that we're talking about, what is going to motivate the leader to institute any policies that will even give him any positive image in that country when they know they don't have anybody to compete with? They don't have any reason to institute anything that is going to be favoring the people, because they have the elections, they have the electors, they have the constitutional council, and everything that is going to make sure they stay in power. And it's unfortunate because if you look at the population of Southern Cameroonians, even sons and daughters of La Republique that have left that country within the past 9 years, it's amazing. Where are they
It is.
going? If you look at, they have decided the few sons and daughters of the ministers, the few sons and daughters of the governors and all that, they have taken the few jobs that are there. The guys are not there because they are competent enough. They are just there. Just to piggyback on something, a few months ago, I saw an appointment of Paul Biya's daughter at the Ministry of Tourism. And I asked myself, this is the crackhead who was out there smoking weed, and people are still sitting there just signing papers for her to go
And
be
we hear,
at the
yes, she's
ministry.
a lesbian too. Yes, she's a lesbian.
That
We
is
see
her
her.
choice. But if you
Yeah.
look at what kind of mentality do we have, do you think she's going to do anything in an office that is going to add value to that country? Well, if her dad could not even add value to the country, what else do you expect from the daughter? We say in the village, a, a kola nut cannot fall far away from the tree. So, what is going on in that country is just these children who grew up in the homes of ministers, their cousins, their uncles, they have never seen the difference between the reality and suffering. But they have lived this luxurious life. They think we don't have anything to do. The country is just going to grow. It's on autopilot. That is why the country is regressing every day, because they all do not know the difference. How many of these children have ever been on any road going to a village where the car is tied in the mud
Chairman
for
Party,
hours?
Chairman Party, what are you talking about? Look at those in high office and see where their children are. They are the ones where somebody is a minister, the child is probably serving as a DO somewhere, they are a director somewhere. The level of cronyism in that country is appalling. They're not even hiding it anymore. You remember of recent when we talked when there was the talk about Sonara being transferred to Kribi, and John Gute came to Victoria and said, "Oh no, why are people saying this? Sonara is not going anywhere." And yet his son is the one in charge of managing the project of of constructing the Kribi Sonara that has been transferred there. Dion Gute's son is the one responsible. And then they send him to come and lie to our people and make these fake promises about Sonara being not going anywhere, and that Sonara is going to be reconstructed. After how many years when Sonara was burnt down, that they will come and reconstruct it now. And it's the same John Gute who has come several times and promised that the Victoria Deep Sea Port will be constructed. At one time, he said his Papa Paul Biya himself was going to supervise it. Till this day, nothing was done. Nothing has been done. They'll come and talk about, Tico Airport, roads in Victoria. We saw a road recently in Victoria that was recently supposedly paved. And it rained one time and the thing got washed away. It's just terrible. It's just terrible, the things that are happening in that country. When they explain to someone who is outside of that country, you think maybe someone is making it up. So that is why we are telling Ambazonians, please do not allow yourselves to be deceived. It doesn't matter if the person trying to deceive you is a chief. It doesn't matter if the person trying to deceive you is a fawn. These people have lost all credibility. They have lost all royalty. You cannot listen to them and believe them because they are speaking with their stomachs. They are speaking with their stomach. You saw them prostrating in front of Ngongo, a common criminal. Ngongo, a thief. They went there and were bound down to him, carrying Paul Biya's image. Funds, for that matter, that are not supposed to touch anything like that with their hands. They went and made a fool of themselves down there. So don't listen to their lies. They will not take you anywhere. They're just trying to placate you, to deceive you, so you go out and take part in their so-called elections. As soon as that thing is over, you open your mouth again, guess what? They will beat you up and throw you in jail. Ask you to make that noise again. They'll send their brutal military, and they will even kill you. And who's going to ask them why? So please do not allow yourselves to be deceived. Don't take whether it's beer or it's salt, whatever they're giving you. One thing that our people don't understand is the value of your vote. When somebody comes to you and gives you something that you will eat or drink or whatever, something that will not stay in you for the next 2-3 days, and you give them your vote, and that because you've given them your vote, you suffer for the next 5 or 7 years. In the case of a president, you suffer for 7 years because you took something and ate. How foolish is that? Instead of insisting on choosing someone whom you know will give you a better future, will give you the means to earn your own living, instead of depending on handouts from someone else. How stupid is that? Don't allow yourselves to be corrupted into taking part in this nonsense called an election. It's not an election. Where is the candidate Paul Biya? That is the question we should be asking every day. Let Paul Biya come out and present himself to the electorate. We need to see Paul Biya. Where is he? Where is he hiding? Or why are they hiding him? Because Paul Biya doesn't even know where he is. Somebody is keeping him like a dog in a cage now. They don't want him to come out because when each time he comes out, he shows how mentally disoriented he is. The man is not there. Probably is pretty much mentally dead. He cannot serve a nation, and he continues to pretend that he is running for president. If he's running for president, I challenge Pobia. Come out and make a tour of the various regions in your country. If you can come out and make a tour, let people see you walking around and shaking hands and greeting your people. Make a tour of the regions in your country. I would personally encourage people to go out and vote for you. But let Paul Biya come out and present himself. We want to see Paul Biya. Where is he? You know, there's a song, Chairman Patrick. There's a song where people die and say, we are looking for, where is he? We are looking for this person. So I'm singing the song here. We are looking for, where is he? Oh, we are looking for, where is he? Oh, we are looking for, where is he? We are looking for Paul Biya. Where is he? Oh, bring Paul Biya. Bring him. We need to see him. We need to see him. Let him come out and walk and talk and greet and show himself as a vibrant candidate for president. That's what we need to see. Chairman Patrick.
This is like an advice. If the so-called opposition in Cameroon are listening, they should all agree that they want to have two debates between now and the elections, so that all the candidates will be invited to come to the stage and debate. That is how they can challenge this authority in Yaoundé to come out with whoever they are hiding underground. Because if they do that, first, second debate, all the candidates go there and Pobia is not there, we know there's no candidate. The CPJ is voting for a ghost. So if they are listening, let them come up and say, we want to have two debates. All the candidates are invited on this day and on this day. But when you look at what is going on in that country, it just makes you laugh. Because 2-3 months before elections in that country, every 7 years, that is when you see all the so-called elites in their villages. Mm-hmm. That is when you see all the caterpillars that were brought in somewhere at the corner of one street. You hear of how many contracts have been awarded to this village, to that village, to this village. These contracts, they all disappear maybe like a week before the election because nobody even listening to that again. And after the election, you don't even see the caterpillars anymore.
So and they make sure that no meaningful work is done during that time.
They don't. I'll tell you some of these things. You listen to the prime minister. Sometimes I feel bad because the prime minister, he acts like one of these child that the father has beaten you so bad, and then they give you a bucket to go carry water. You don't have a choice, but you are going to go carry that water and bring it back to the house. The prime minister goes to Boya or whoever he was, say, oh, they are not building a refinery anywhere. And a week later or 3 days later, the minister is in Kribi cutting the ribbon for the refinery. And today is coming out that your son, how did your son get the contract? When did he know he was supposed to be tendering for a contract to build a refinery in La Republic? How can these people be this gullible? The prime minister does he even have a conscience to sit back and say, why would I put myself in this position?
One thing you have to note is that these people, I don't know if they think people don't have brains or what. First of all, someone like John Gucci, like you said, I think I feel very sorry for that guy. I don't know how he goes home and maintains order in his own household. I don't know how his wife can respect him when you go out and you prostrate yourself, because John Gucci is not in the room when decisions are being made. He is not there. He is called in like an errand boy when the decision has been made, and he's given a message to say, okay, you go and tell your people this, you go and tell your people that. He is not one of the decision makers in that country. He just has no powers. That office of prime minister is just an empty office. I think his secretary has more authority than himself. Now, let me talk about this so-called opposition that we are talking about in La Republic. If we had a serious opposition in that country, they will not be gunning to go for elections at this time. They would have fought to make sure that the rules of the game, first of all, are well outlined, that their protections are in place to make sure that the votes that will be cast, if they are in the majority, that the votes will actually matter. You cannot, someone cannot call you and say, let's play a game of football, or what Americans call soccer, and then you see that your opponent has a referee as a brother. Your opponent, the son is a linesman. And not to talk of that, he has arranged it such that your own goalpost is so wide. Your own goalpost is very wide. Meanwhile, his own goalpost, he has narrowed it so small that you cannot get the ball through. And then you see all these conditions that are stacked against you and in favor of him. And then he says, come and let's play ball. And you are there jogging, saying, I want to take part in such a game. You are a fool to go into such a field of play when you see everything stacked against you. How can the opposition expect to win when the president of their constitutional council or whatever is someone that Pobia appointed? There's Elekam who appoints Elekam, who chooses the members of Elekam. Is it not Pobia? Then you expect these people to rule against him? You expect Paul Atanganji, who gets up one day and simply changes the rules as he wants. You expect Paul Atanganji to sit there and see Pobia as a minister of territorial administration and watch Pobia lose an election? Is that what these people who call themselves opposition leaders, is that what they're expecting? What if I had the means of asking them a question? My question to them is it: show me your path to victory. You as an opposition leader, show me your path to victory. How do you intend to live from a candidate to become the president of La Republic of Cameroon? Show me the path what gives you the confidence that you can win under these conditions. Chairman Patrick, go ahead, please.
Yes, actually, what you're asking is the same direction that these people should be having. Unfortunately, Pobia, who will not be shown anywhere, even on video, will end up with 90% of the vote. And people like OC and the rest, they will have maybe 2%, 3%, but they are out there running. The reality here is that country is broken, and they do not even have the architect that can rebuild and set the mechanism that a country can be functioning as a nation that has a vision for its people. These guys are thinking about themselves and about what they want to do in their own little territory. And it's unfortunate because our people who have been begging for years are still taking themselves from their local areas to travel to Yaoundé to go keep begging. If I beg you for something 14, 15 years behind and you don't give it to me, why do I think you're going to give it to me today? It makes me wonder what is in the minds of Cameroonians. What is really wrong with these people? Cameroon is not just a central and west and south province. This is a whole country. This is a country with almost 30 million people. How can a dead man, a ghost, be ruling and being able to keep you guys under bondage for this long and nobody's speaking? Nobody's doing anything about it. One thing that has happened in every country in the world is the people's voice. If you guys want to do anything, you all have to come together, figure out a way to make sure your vote count. If not, don't keep wasting your time. First of all, those who are going to go out there to vote, if you do not make sure your vote is counted, first of all, the only part of it is I saw Kamto brought in one of those challenge that they wanted to see the electoral vote, the list of electors. The Constitutional Council did throw it away. They did not listen to Camto, because if they come out and they say there are 40 or 10 million people have voted opposition, they are going to say the list of electors were over maybe 50 million. They might, in Cameroon, it's possible to give a number of people that voted to be above the population of the country. It's possible. They can do that. So nobody should waste their time that election is going to change Cameroon. I wish these cronies who are in Yaoundé should be learning or finding a way, an area where they're going to be hiding, because it would be shameful for people like Gongo to be dragged on the street one day in that country. Because if you don't see like you have drowned, you've destroyed a nation, and you still think you're going to have power in that country for this long, behold, my man, you need to think twice. It is not possible. There is always an end. There is always an end to every resulting action. Yeah, so those are some of the things that are really making me to wonder how much education can you give a people that are suffering? How can you be suffering and you choose to go at your suffering knowing that there is something you can do to change it? If somebody goes out there, pick up a ballot paper with CPDM on it and go cast it, then you do not care about your own self. You don't care about your country. Every single family in Cameroon, Amazonia, or La Republique, they have children out of the country. Do you think all these children really love being out of the country? What is wrong with your own country that you cannot do something about it to fix it? It's just like you have your home. Instead of you making sure your home is livable and there's rain falling on your roof, but every day when rain is falling, you run to your neighbor's house and sit there, and you don't do anything to find a way to repair your own roof. So, my fellow Cameroonians or fellow Amazonians, this is a moment. We might have seen a lot of killing in our territory. We might have seen a drawback in so many of the activities, but this is our moment. We're going to take the challenge. We're going to take the bull by the horn. We are going to win this fight. We're going to win this revolution. There is no way we can give up or we can slow down when we know it's better for us to stay together and suffer than to live with an oppressor. Chairman Mike, can you hear me? I can hear you. Yeah, there's something going on with your audio. We cannot hear you.
All right. I think the studio says I'm good, Chairman Patrick. Can you hear me now? All right.
Yes,
The
I can
studio
hear
says,
you now.
all right. So we're good. As I was saying, Ambazonians should not buy into the charade happening in that Cameroon.
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right. So yeah, I think there's an echo there now. I don't know why.
No,
I think
I
that's.
was trying to connect with my phone. I got you
Oh,
now.
okay. All right. Okay. So they should not buy into the nonsense. I think we have just maybe about what 15 more minutes to round up here. Let's try to round up here. Chairman Patrick, one other thing Comrade Chris talked about was an appeal to our brothers and sisters who are sacrificing themselves as soldiers or police or whatever in La Republic Cameroon. And many of them have lost their lives in this senseless war with Ambazonia. And he's calling on them to see the reason to get out of there now because God forbid, if the Northerners, as they are threatening, will start coming down again, and then they will be caught like in the middle, and it will not be good for them. So this is a time for them to get out while they can, and come home and let's defend and take back our own territory, than die for people who don't even value your lives. They don't even see you as equals. So what are you doing there? It's time for them to get out. What do you have to say to our brothers out there?
So, Comrade, before I even say anything, if you look at the chat room, somebody just wrote that La Republic just dismissed about 12 of their soldiers, and 4 out of these 12 were all of the English speaking region. So this is a
Yes.
moment. They are scared. They are shaking to the core.
Yes.
But if any of these soldiers, you know, you are doing the right thing and they are kicking you out, you know what to do.
Yes.
We are
Yes, I think maybe Chairman Patrick is frozen again. As we were saying, if they are beginning to kick soldiers out, is maybe they are beginning to see signs that there's disgruntlement within the ranks of their soldiers. Some don't like what they are seeing. They don't like The fact that they are being used as sacrificial lambs, they come to Amazonia, they get blown to pieces. I don't even know what compensation their families get. As you were saying, continue with your point there. I took over just to make sure you came back.
Yes, what I'm saying is those who have been dismissed, they know what to do. They have been trained like soldiers. They have the mentality. They want to see change in that country. They did not dismiss them just because they're for fun. It's because they have seen something in them that they do not like. They might not be towing the line of what they are expecting from the cronies in Yaoundé. So if you have been dismissed, you know who to contact, you know where to go. But I will tell you, that country is at a breaking point. And any Amazonian who is sitting there not reflecting on what my plan is. I know the interim government is sitting back and planning on what we are going to give our people, the message and the directives, because we cannot let Amazonia become a jungle justice when La Republic falls. We are going to coordinate this, set up a plan on how we're going to govern ourselves going forward. And this is not just going to be governing ourselves. When we close our borders, we are not closing our borders just for fun. There will be whatever, I'm not going to say it here, but what is going to be sitting at that border will be something that La Republic will never believe they will ever try to enter our territory or to think that they are going to come try to talk to us. The time that we were begging to negotiate La Republic, the time might be over.
Those days are over.
Negotiation for La Republic.
Those days are over.
Those days are over.
I think they have a lot to do within their own territory too, because even within the ranks of even their own very CPDM, they are not in complete agreement as to what to do. They are not in complete agreement as to who should lead. So while they are struggling to sort that out, we will be busy trying to fortify ourselves and to do what we must do. I think the last thing we have to talk about, Chairman Patrick, is the example that Comrade Chris is setting by stepping aside as a leader of the interim government as compared to others who have chosen to sit tight year in, year out, low levels of productivity, but they just will not accommodate the idea that as a leader, when you make a promise to serve for a period of time, when that time comes, you step aside and allow for someone else to come in and give their own best as well. But he is the very first person to set that example. What do you have to say about it? Isn't it something good for the interim government?
This is just exactly what the interim government should have been demonstrating to show the international community and to show us that if we gain our country, when we gain our country, we are going to have leaders that will respect the law, say what they will do, and they will do it. We are not going to try to get people in there who want to sit tight and start changing the constitution to suit their narrative. This is an example that every Amazonian, it doesn't matter what position you hold. There is one thing, there is always dignity in honesty. You cannot think, if I'm the leader, I'm the richest person, you are dignified. No. When you are an honest person, the rest of the world will hate you. But you are going to be honest and say what it is. And you might be a poor person, but you are speaking the truth and you will die one day with peace in your mind because you know you did not cause tears in somebody's eyes. So what Comrade Chris has done is an example of what Amazonia should have done if we had started and Siseko did not start a new government and Sako did not create another interim government or Marianta did not do what she did. We would have been moving as smooth as possible. But with all that they have maintained, I don't think in the Amazonian constitution it was stated anywhere that if you have been president, you cannot be president again. They could have taken their chance and become president when the moment comes. But they decided it's time for me to stay there, and whatever happens, I do not care. I'm going to sit tight here and call
As,
myself president.
as in the case of Sako, he says he's a leader to Boya. So the question I asked was, okay, what if it takes 30 years for us to get to Boya? So we must have to endure, and that means you are just not very different from Bobia then, who is
I'm sure he has a son. He has a son that will take over.
I'll take over. So, well, is rather tragic. Chairman Patrick, it was a pleasure having you on today. Uh, um, I think the message that Comrade Chris has given should reassure Ambazonians that he is doing well, and not only that he is doing well, but the interim government is doing well. We are in a period of a transition, but nothing is going to change. We are steadfast, determined to continue forging ahead until Ambazonia is free. I'll just give you a few seconds to make your closing remarks, and we'll call it a day, and we'll pick up next time.
So that is one of the few things that I will say here is Comrade Chris stepping down as the president of the Ambazonian struggle is not stepping out of the struggle. This will give him more flexibility to interact, to do more positive things for the revolution. We know what he's gone through. We know what he has endured personally, externally, internally, in every aspect. And what he has done to now, by the end of September, we'll know who will be leading the interim government going forward. And we are calling on every Ambazonian, wherever you are. This is a moment for all of us. We have said this. We cannot be spectators when the moment comes in La Republic. We should be creating an atmosphere. Talk to some of us who are sitting back every day, strategizing in meetings on what should be done when that moment comes. We cannot sit here and start saying, we should have. No. Failing to plan is planning to fail. That is exactly what I would say. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Thank you, Comrade Mike, and let's have a good day.
Okay, thank you, Chairman Patrick. Again, it was a pleasure having you, and fellow Ambazonians. Again, know that ABS is back. It's not a one-time thing. ABS is back, and we will be coming to you on a weekly basis, as we've done in the past, and bringing you programs that will cover current and enduring issues affecting our struggle, and especially vis-a-vis the implosion of La Republic as we see it, or the charade of subordination. But most especially, we'll focus on what is going to help us liberate ourselves from 60 plus years of annexation. So I want to thank you for tuning in today. Please share the word. I know a lot of you did not know that we were coming on today, but share the word. Let people know that ABS is back. ABS is back. Beyond Zero has been yearning. We've got many calls asking when we'll be coming back. We are here now. So it was a pleasure having you today. You take this message we've given here today and share it. Most especially, please, do not allow yourselves to be caught taking part in anything that has to do with elections conducted by La Republic of Cameroon within our territory. Please, do not be caught taking part in any campaigning, the distribution of materials, propaganda related to elections, none of that. Not to talk of coming out to vote. Please, do not allow yourselves to be caught in any of those activities. We are not La Republic of Cameroon citizens. They don't have any authority to come into Ambazonia and conduct any elections. And our freedom fighters will be all out there on the lookout for those who will violate these rules. They will be implementing this rule, making sure that our territorial integrity is maintained, that nobody comes into to insult us by conducting a so-called election in our territory. So please be mindful of your own safety, first. Do not expose yourselves because you've been given a bottle of beer or whatever to go and risk your lives for no reason. There's nothing that anybody can give you that will be worth it. So take note of it. Do not be caught taking part in that charade. Any promises they give you are all lies. Nothing will be fulfilled. You already know that. You already know that. I'm not the one telling you. They have made promise over promise over promise. None of them have ever been kept. None of them. And they are not going to do it this time. First of all, they are presenting a so-called candidate that has not been seen. Like I've said, where is Paul Biya? We have to keep asking every time we come out. We want to see Paul Biya out there in his country, campaigning for votes, not in Ambazonia. Let him concentrate there. We don't care what happens there, but let him do it over there. But he should at least come out and present himself to his people. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say bravo again to our brave warriors on the ground who are defending our territory. The land of Ambazonia is yours. It is your right to fight and to take it and control it and manage its resources. With that, I say take good care of yourselves and each other. And with that, ABS for today is out. Good night.
Smart, Munaking Fanja, Usari Maribo. What's a say to Joseph Woodabwe? I remember 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 that concept Randago. Mukuba, Mate, Mechi, Away, Peter, Eno, Ancien Treva, Wangano, Murukwa, Aquaticaba, a young Atem, Wangano, Aquaticaba, a Remoni, Wangano, Tonkabatam, Aquaticaba, a Tigan Swadi, Wangano, Muruba, sende bima toto menga minita kwe Oma sende toto menga minita kwe Oma sende bima toto menga minita kwe Oma sende toto menga minita kwe Oma sende